How's it going today, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to our last part in this week's series, which is all about developers and publishers and users.
Do you want to edit the episodes?
Give me that, please. Thank you.
It's better than
what time is it? I'm just wondering what time it is.
The real time?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering to see if this was the Hammer of Dawn.
Here's a war reference?
Yeah.
That's a Christmas card.
We did Improv giving our Christmas photo.
Jeremy trying to save me. Pete trying to kill me.
That was me trying to choke him, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We all choked each other and you were just standing there.
Welcome back again. I am joined by the two biggest idiots I have ever met in my life, and the greatest guys in fucking Pete. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? All right, so not greatest guys. All right, two of the biggest fucking idiots.
But we're your idiots.
To my far left, I have the greatest Zelda fan in the world.
Is he the
Oh, the best, biggest, greatest. Who cares? He's got the fuck you, Pete. I hate you. I hate you so much. He's got a tattoo with the Triforce on his right arm. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. Jeremy Berg.
Biggest... I can't even... Biggest Zelda fan in the world coming at you once again. God damn it.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And to my direct left, I have Mr. I'm Wondering himself, always coming into the show
Not wearing
with
a
the
peach hat.
weirdest hats I've ever seen, Mr. Peter Anderson.
It's fabulous.
I think I just got dandruff on me. Yeah.
Oh, shots fired.
Would
Shots
you
fired.
like me to do yours since you were stuttering a little bit?
And I have the best ponytail in the business. It's fabulous.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I'm Nicholas DeJesus.
Are you?
I am.
Oh,
I
good
am.
to know.
I am. And here's a thought.
Uh-oh.
Why don't we get a AAA title that fucking blows my socks off? Why haven't I gotten one that will blow my socks off? I really thought it was going to be Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain that was going to just absolutely blow my
Do
socks
you
off.
want the honest to God truth, Nick?
Yes.
Because...
You're too damn picky.
Fellas, here's the bar. Your level of satisfaction is all the way up in the stratosphere.
Yeah, reach it, because I set the bar that high.
You want to get on my level, you got to be in space.
Like
You had too much high expectations for certain stuff.
at this point in gaming, I would think it was possible.
See, I have a high expectation of Tomb Raider, and I'm playing it now for the awards to be counted. And I'm enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But it's something where I'm like, is it as good as I remember? But when I walk in, and I said it to you before, when I walked into something like Until Dawn, I was like, oh, I'm just going to beat this quick. It's going to get me to Tomb Raider, the real challenger for Witcher for the game of the year.
And then you're like, oh, fuck, I'm stuck playing this.
And then Until Dawn is absolutely fantastic. Everybody knows. But it's something where my bar was not expecting it and so high, even though people praised it, and me just going and being like, okay, it's going to be a nice 12-hour game, 12 hours, and then I'm going to get to Tomb Raider. My whole mindset was Tomb Raider, you know? And to be blown away by Until Dawn, it's like, oh, even you said it. You weren't expecting great things from Until Dawn.
Yeah.
But when we did our Let's Play...
It looked like a really good game.
Yeah, and you were like, I would be interested in playing this more.
I'm going to say that Splatoon was kind of, not a one-off, but... Shut up. But basically, I heard very little of the game.
Are you sure that's not your game of the year?
It's
Yeah.
not. He's going to make someone bleed in a couple of months. There's my game of the year.
I think, if I had to guess, I think I know his game of the year. We'll say it off camera.
But, I've said it 1,000,000 times. But,
Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah, you fucking assholes.
Triforce Heroes.
Asshole. But, to get back to Splatoon, it blew me away.
I'm back.
Yes.
Censor.
But basically, so I bought Splatoon on a whim, and it completely blew me away with how good of a game it was. It's got a short little story, it's a multiplayer game, but it actually was Nintendo's first new IP in a long time that actually really blew me away. Because I'm the Nintendo fan, but I'm a picky Nintendo fan. I played a couple of games here and there, which I've been like, no, you failed. I was like, I hold Splatoon very high. And best news is, Nintendo says they're going to confirm Splatoon 2, but they're not going to give the confirmed date until Splatoon 1 has set its course. Which
That's nice.
I heard that and I'm like,
That's nice.
I was like,
That's nice.
very good. Let it play out till it can't be
But
upgraded anymore, and then give me the new one.
My experience with these titles has been very, very terrible, right? I had Little Big Planet 3 at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. I had The Crew, which was supposed to be the biggest thing in racing ever since, I don't know, Need for Speed 1 or Cruising USA.
Or Gran Turismo, stuff like that.
Yeah. But no, it wasn't really on that level. But that was bad. I had Bloodborne. Well, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Ooh.
Terrible. Bloodborne didn't keep my attention. I thought it was a good game.
I agree, it's a good game. It's just
a good
like,
game. It just didn't keep my attention. It didn't make it
Okay.
worth it for the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Bad frustrating and worth it frustrating. Yeah. It didn't make it worth it.
It
The
didn't
frustrating.
make the good.
check out that episode, youtube.com/improv.
So it wasn't worth the frustration.
I stole your shit. Right
But I love you for that.
Right? Dying Light,
learning.
as good as it was, because we played the Let's
Yeah.
Play together, I thought it was great. When I got it and started playing it on my own, it just
started
died
to
off.
wheel down, yeah.
It just started to die off.
Truth, like, that's why, like, quick off tangent, I like twitching with other people or playing games with other people, like a single player between two people, because you can just, A, you can have a great time, B, you make fun of each other when you make mistakes, and it's hilarious, and then, like, once they leave, you're just like, oh, this game isn't as fun as it was, I gotta get him over here to play it again, but...
And then there's the Phantom Pain, which, and I'm a huge fanboy of Metal Gear Solid, but I just can't find myself to fucking even pick up the controller and play it. And right now I'm playing Fallout 4, which feels like Skyrim all over again. So do I really want to invest my like the moment I picked up Fallout 4 and I started playing it and I looked at my inventory and I saw everything felt like Skyrim, I was like, oh fuck. that was my reaction to it. It was like, oh fuck. Another Skyrim, holy shit. These guys weren't joking when they said that you're gonna invest a lot of time into this game. So I was like, and I like playing Fallout 4, don't get me wrong. It's kept me more than all the other ones that I've listed, but it's just so all my AAA titles that were supposed to blow me out of the fucking water, they all flopped.
That sucks. And I remember that. Like, I remember you bought Phantom Pain, and then we came to do the next episode, and all of a sudden you're like, it's good. And, like, I literally could just see, like, your excitement just slowly, like, just go down, and I'm just I'm like, oh, because I know that feeling. I'm like, that sucks when you play a game you've waited forever, and then you're just like, it was good, and now it's...
Look at Halo 5. I was stoked for Halo 5, and it just didn't live up. You know, I was excited for a whole bunch of stuff, and it just... The things that surprised me were the ones that I didn't expect, you know? But my thought to you is you're not enjoying games because maybe the people behind those games have a lack of creativity.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I brought it up. The big question that we're dealing with today is, can developers be as creative as they used to be? There was a time where God of War blew your socks off because it was different.
Because it was different?
In ways.
Okay. From that, I'm going to say God of War 1, really good, amazing game. God of War 2, improved on some things, didn't improve on anything. I would say it's a really good game as well. Probably 3.5, 4 stars out of 5. God of War 3 blew my mind just because it just take the cinematic scenes when you fight Poseidon in the beginning of the game. That was a good start. I know it's a full QTE game, but just how they did it, like, you're in the face of the gods, you're fighting them, you're taking them out piece by piece by piece, and just how, like, you literally defeat each god, you kill them, and you see the world slowly fall apart as you're trying to just, like, finally get your revenge on Zeus. Then you get to the part where you meet Hera, and Hera's like, what are you doing? You're killing the world. You need to stop this. And he kills her anyway. You finally get your revenge, and then you finally get that whole ending where you see him walk away with that hole in his chest.
Yep.
To me, I think it did blow me away. For God of War 3, I know, like, you could say, oh, it's the same QT, same for over again, but just how it was done cinematically and how, like, it was done through those QT events definitely blew my mind. Just from the whole story.
Well, I thought that God of War was great because you had an original character that nobody had ever dealt with before, who was going up against all these characters that we were very familiar with, or familiar-esque with, right? Zeus, Hera, Ares, even Hercules he goes up against. Like, he went up against all the gods and all their demigods.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a new demigod that we had never heard of before, that doesn't exist in Greek mythology, and they took a creative spin on it. So story-wise, it was creative. not necessarily gameplay wise. Then you have Little Big Planet that blew me out of the water because again it was creative in the way that it approached a platformer, and then it raised the bar by allowing you to create the same things that they were creating. Now you're gonna have Dreams, and I don't know what that's gonna be.
I know you're.
I'm a little iffy on it, but I still want to get it. So Media Molecule obviously has just pushed the boundaries as to what it is that they can do and what they can create for us. So it seems like it's going to blow us away in a lot of ways. No Man's Sky, though, is that really creative? Are they really approaching the game culture in a creative way? I would argue yes. When they come out, that's going to be the game that I'm most excited for, I think. And you guys, everybody knows that I'm very excited to see what No Man's Sky ends up being.
More than Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm excited for because, remember, right before E3 came, I was like, when are we going to get a fucking Turok game? And sure enough, they gave us a Turok game in a sense. They gave us something that felt like a Turok game. So it was like, all right, dinosaurs versus bow and arrows. Fucking awesome. I get what I was asking for. And I'm just excited to see what that's going to be about. It feels like it's still going to be a Far Cry kind of deal.
It got a Far Cry.
It has a Far Cry feel to it.
I think it's going to be like probably going to hit my game of the close to my game of the year next year.
I think it could be interesting.
But I was gonna say another game that I'm looking at to blow my mind, and I know everybody's like, "Oh, it's the same shit over and over again." But Bethesda did win this year at E3. It's gonna be Doom.
Doom?
I know, like, okay, the trailer blew me away. It blew me away. I think the graphics look good. The game looks good from what I've seen. I know everybody's like, "Oh, it could be the same stale Doom game over again." The bar set high for me. It lets me down. I'm gonna probably shit all over Bethesda, but. To me, as of now, I'm really still hyped to see that game and play it.
See, but they were behind the first Doom. The first remake of Doom, I should say. So, I don't know if it's going to be that great. I'm a little...
From what I've seen, like I said...
Or Doom 3, I should say, right? Because it's Doom 3 that they were behind.
Yep.
And that was a flop, so is Doom really going to be that great? I hope so.
So do I.
I would like for it to be.
I'm going to walk in, drop the maze, and be like, Nick, you were right.
The issue with Doom is the formula that they had that worked for Doom and that made Doom so popular isn't necessarily a formula that can work for video games nowadays. It could.
Same thing with the Final Fantasy remake. You can't have that turn-based. You have to have some more action. That's why they're going with
with that Kingdom Hearts action style of turn-based strategy. So it's going to be a little more fun to directly control Cloud or and his party. It's going to be a little more interactive.
Yep.
Let's say. So I'm actually excited for that to see how they play with that one. That one seems like it's going to be interesting. But again, is that creative? I don't know if it's creative. I mean, what do you guys think? Can a developer still be creative? Is there any room for a developer to be creative anymore?
Well, I'm glad you brought up that question because we have an email. You can always email us at improvgamers@gmail.com, just like Karen did, and said, "Hey IPG, I can't speak today. Hey IPG,
none of us can.
Yeah, right. I want to just tell you a quick story. Back in the day, I was enjoying the hell out of the Telltale series games with Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us. But as I see now, Telltale just keeps throwing out just whatever they want, whether it be Game of Thrones and coming up being Batman. What are your thoughts on this? Are they lack of creation because it's just a custom mode? Well, my feeling is this, I think when a formula works, they lose their creativity. And you will actually be surprised, but I will bring up Uncharted. Uncharted worked. They did Uncharted 2. It did fantastic. Right away they wanted Uncharted 3. They did Uncharted 3. They're doing Uncharted 4. People like the formula, and it's not making Naughty Dog be more willing to take chances.
Although, from what I've seen of the combat, they have tied in combat and climbing very close together in this game. So using the terrain to really combat your enemies is kind of been the focal point of Uncharted 4. And when I saw Drake jumping from cliff to cliff, climbing over the walls and taking out enemies and using a what's it called? An arrow to make a zip line, so that then he could slide down. I thought that was really creative in the way that, I mean, it was two aspects of a game that were kind of separate. You know, you had your problem solving, climbing, and then you had your fighting, and they were very separate. You know, it wasn't like you were climbing across like all the ancient ruins in order to get a better vantage point. But this time, it seems like they merged the two in the game, so that then they're both tied directly into each other, which is nice. It's a nice it's nice seeing a developer actually take a stance and improve on something that they already had.
See, I can agree with that, but in the end, it's also Uncharted known for its crazy set pieces.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna get that from especially the demo you saw, but you know I feel it takes away from the creativity because you know what's gonna happen when you get a like what Karen said, Tall Tale. Now they're just like, oh yeah, our games are buggy, they're broken, but you know what? Oh, here's a Batman one that's coming out. Oh, here's season 2 of Game of Thrones. It's like, okay, that's cool, but you know what? Be original. I loved Wolf Among Us because it wasn't the norm. It wasn't as popular as Game of Thrones. It wasn't as popular as Walking Dead. It wasn't as popular as Batman. You know, Batman's the big thing, you know?
Good, sorry.
But with Wolf Among Us, nobody saw it coming, and it was very well done. You know, a lot of people look over it, but I enjoyed Wolf Among Us because it was something different. Tales of Borderlands is based off the Borderlands games, but it's something different. It's not a lot of people play it, and it's a shame because right now, as it stands while we're recording this, the season pass is worth $375, and you can get the first episode for free. So it's basically
Pete secretly works for the developers of Borderlands.
Never.
You've been pitching this like for the past 2 weeks.
But I'm saying but it's something different, and you know, it's
here's the danger with Telltale games. They're gonna start touching some fucking sacred shit that they shouldn't be touching. For instance,
like
people are craving Telltale games to make a Doctor Who. There is.
And motherfuckers, if you ruin that game, I'll bet you like a goddamn.
But there are people out there that want Telltale games to make a Doctor Who game, because like I said in the last week, it's probably the easiest formula for them to actually utilize Doctor Who, and but just because it's easy doesn't mean you should do it.
Yep.
If my opinion, if you're gonna do a Telltale Doctor Who game, you want to make me happy, start with Christopher Eccleston, start with the episode Rose, and just work your way through. No,
don't do it.
Yes.
Don't touch that whole thing.
Don't do it at all.
Don't
do it at all. No, don't do Doctor Who. Doctor Who should not be a Telltale game.
But there are Doctor Who games out there, but
Doctor Who should not be a Telltale game. Doctor Who should be its own game. I don't know.
Wait, what'd you say?
A Lego game that actually might work.
It does.
That
It's
might
Lego
actually
Dimensions.
work.
I can't say this
Lego
because
Dimensions.
someone watches this channel, but someone's getting a very good Christmas gift this year.
I
know.
I mean,
and I'll let you guys know how it is when the time comes.
But it's, you know, you have. It's just. I think. Yeah, let's put it this way.
Dude.
I think that Lego Dimensions has it right, where they have all these different characters, whether it be from Doctor Who, Jurassic Park, the Ninja series,
Ghostbusters, the Lego movies, the DC superheroes.
Where it's creative and they
Back
have
to
their
the
own
Future.
world.
The Ninja Turtles.
Legos have always been creative. The Legos games have always been.
No, they have not always been creative. The first one was creative.
Yeah, but I'm
Lord
saying
of the Rings.
the
first one was creative, but as they went on to Harry Potter and Star Wars, like they were trash. They were trash after that.
I'm saying Lego Dimensions is getting back to that formula where you can have Homer Simpson and Batman.
The Simpsons.
I think he's doing what I did in the last one.
You guys are funny. But I'm saying.
So you're attributing that they have more characters in them to creativity?
No, it's different worlds where you can have Batman in the Simpsons universe.
Yeah, but that's not creative.
I think it's a cool concept.
It's a cool concept, but it's not creative. I mean, are you still sitting by a pile of bricks and?
They talk now. They
like,
don't make
are
noises.
you still doing that? Like,
I haven't seen any gameplay, so.
But you know what? That's what shows that developers be creative, and it's looking like it's not.
They can't. They can't. I don't think.
And
they
then
can.
if they do, like Molecule did, Media Molecule.
But after the third one, it just
But talking about dreams, they're being creative, and even you, being the Little Big Planet fans, like,
What is that?
what is that? These things, I don't like these new things, and it makes people not want to be as creative.
Well, it
there's
wasn't.
that risk factor.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I didn't know what it was when they first announced Dreams in E3. You had no idea what it was.
Your look was
I was like, what the fuck is that? But when they came to PSX and started talking more about
Paris Games Week.
I'm sorry, yeah, Paris Games Week, and they started talking more about what Dreams was, and you saw gameplay from Dreams. You're like, okay, I can get behind this because now.
But you're still shaky with it.
I'm shaky because I don't know what to expect. Is it an art game or is it going to be? I mean, obviously it's going to have this the pre-rendered or pre-built campaign, quote unquote, or main storyline that you're going to follow. Is it going to be as simple as they're making it out to be? Because right now they're making it out to be very simple, and I don't know if it's going to be that simple.
See, I feel where developers were much more creative a couple of console generations ago. Because now, and I'm just naming a few, if you did a Sly Cooper or a Ratchet and Clank or a Jak and Daxter, type of those games, they have a more thriving way in the past because, it's something different. But now with this generation, it's like, I want the new Call of Duty. I want the new Fall. Like, things that are established that it's like, this is what people want. People have been begging for the new Kingdom Hearts. And yes, am I excited for the Kingdom Hearts? Of course. But you know what? Square could also be like, hey, we have this awesome idea that's not that. He's like, no, we want Kingdom Hearts,
We don't want that Final Fantasy mobile game. Fuck you.
Look at Infinity Ward. Treyarch, and I can't think of the last one. I apologize. But the 3 Call of Duties, they're all going to be associated with Call of Duty now. When people say, Infinity Ward's doing an open MOBA, nobody's going to be like, sign me up. Because they know Infinity Ward as the Call of Duty.
See, but they could take chances. Like, there was a time where...
But they can't now.
For instance, Rare was behind a first-person shooter, a collectathon, and essentially an open world. It was behind 3 different titles that were...
So you're saying Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie...
Perfect Dog, Banjo-Kazooie, weren't they behind James Bond?
Yeah,
they were.
That was Rare. So... There was a time where you could get behind, like, you could be a developer and get behind all these
back
different...
in the day, though.
But you can still do it. I think you can still do it. I don't think that Treyarch...
Nintendo did Woolly World. That's a collector.
I don't think Treyarch needs to be stuck making Call of Duty games.
But
they just chose that because they can make money off of it every 2 years.
Yeah, but it's something where... 3. But it's something where...
Every 3 years.
Call of Duty fan here.
5 years.
But it's something where I feel like, could they be creative? Yes. Is it practical? Not right now. I don't think, you have Media Molecule who can be creative. I think because that's what they're known for. But,
I think you're thinking the same way that the publishers are thinking. In that they can't be creative because it's not practical for the short term. But long term, it's very practical.
But that's what... Take Uncharted, for example, again. Descent. It ends Uncharted. It's done. Uncharted's done. Because Naughty Dog's like, we're done. This is the last story we're telling. Because they want to try and do something else. So,
but if they come out with an Uncharted clone, then what's the point of ending Uncharted?
I don't think they will. I think Naughty Dog will do something else. They could have said that about Crash Bandicoot, back in the day. They could have just did something closer to Crash Bandicoot. But I'm saying that Naughty Dog has
They didn't? A guy jumping over branches in the forest?
Does Crash Bandicoot pick
out
an AK-47?
I'm just saying, that's what Uncharted is, right? You're just jumping through the forest, running away from bad guys or whatever.
Jumping out.
But they improved on it. They didn't just do a Crash Bandicoot. No, I'm just trolling.
There was more of a story and stuff like that. But I'm saying that, developers now have to, say, no, we're done making this series, just so they could try something else and be creative, Bethesda's always going to be known for Elder Scrolls and Skyrim. Yeah, they can throw in,
And Fallout.
What did I say?
Elder Scrolls and Skyrim.
Oh, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I apologize.
See, but they also do Doom.
And Doom. Yeah, I'm saying that. But then...
Wolfenstein.
These are core Bethesda. But I don't think if Bethesda goes...
But they're not all the same game.
Yeah, but if Bethesda comes out with something else, now it's going to be like, well, we want the new Elder Scrolls game.
No, they're not though.
Yeah.
Nobody's complaining to Bethesda working on Doom saying we want the new Fallout.
Yeah, because Fallout just came out, but now Skyrim's
But-
a couple years old, and people.
But
are
nobody's
like,
saying nobody's saying anything about Elder Scrolls when Doom is coming out. Nobody's saying, "Oh,
Yeah,
don't
but
do
when,
Doom. We want."
once Doom comes out and Doom's been played, they're gonna say, "Okay, we want Elder Scrolls now," and they're gonna be like, "Well, we have this great idea." And it's like, "No, we want Elder Scrolls." That's how it's gonna be. Okay, I got my Fallout fix. Okay, I got my Doom fix. Now I want Elder Scrolls. I want to know in the comments.
I know
please.
for a fact right now there are still people playing Skyrim.
That's
And
surprising.
that have enjoyed Skyrim and that are immersed in Skyrim. And the replayability of Skyrim and Fallout doesn't warrant them getting a new game next after Doom comes out. It doesn't, because they could play those games forever.
Yeah.
Literally forever, because
Just
you
like
could
Destiny?
see. Well, not Destiny, no.
I'm sorry.
Like No Man's Sky, more like. But they could play those games forever. Destiny, you can't. I'm sorry, but there's no replayability in Destiny. It gets boring. But Elder Scrolls doesn't
Thank you.
get.
I'm waiting to hear that for a while.
I've always said that.
No, not you, but the general pop.
No, you
general
can't.
populace.
You can't. It gets boring.
I know
It
people
gets
out there
boring.
who are like, oh,
There's no creative way to play Destiny other than the way that it's played.
But
Whereas-
Destiny is
whereas-
the perfect game where you play it, a new game comes out, you leave it, play the new game, and then if you have nothing to do, you play Destiny.
No, you don't play Destiny.
It's something where you can pick up,
you,
drop, pick up,
You
drop.
play Destiny, you drop Destiny, and you move on with your life. And no matter how many times they patch the game, and they try to get you into microtransactions, which I found out last week, which is fucking ridiculous. They have microtransactions now. They have Destiny Silver, it's called. So it's silver that you use for
bullshit.
in-game purchases, but you spend money on it outside of the game.
but the gaming community actually frowns upon that.
Yeah, and fucking Destiny did it. So it was just like, okay, now I don't want to have anything to do with Taken King. I don't care how good it is. I don't care what your sparrow races are. I do not give a shit anymore. I don't want to be a part of that in-game currency system.
On a sidebar, I do want to know in the comments if you think that developers can be creative now. I'm really curious.
I think that they can. I think that the reason that they aren't... This is another thing that I want to say. The reason that they aren't creative is because the consoles are so powerful that they don't need to be creative. There's so much room for them to kind of play around with that they don't need to say, how can we rethink this? How can we get 2 modes in a gun? That's how Turok was. That's how Perfect Dark was. You know, getting 2 modes into a single gun, and that was to save space on the cartridge. You know, so we have all these awesome ideas for weapons, but we can't utilize them all. All of a sudden, you have a pistol that turns into an automatic rifle. So they were able to cram the same information into one gun. You were forced to be creative before because of the limited amount of space. Now, they're not using all this space that they're able to use. And that's my biggest complaint is if you were to creatively think about it, you could utilize all this space and blow me out of the water. And show me a AAA title that's actually worth my attention. Because there's not a lot of AAA titles that are worth my attention.
So you believe they could still be creative?
I believe that they are being lazy and not being creative.
See, I don't think they can. What is your final thought on being creative? Can they still be creative?
Splatoon, best example. I know I've been harking on this all week, but it's been coming up to be a good example.
It's a fairly good example.
Yeah.
You know, how can we make a kid-friendly shooter game that isn't about shooting people?
And teabagging, so.
You could probably
They
see that.
creatively went about it.
Can you, Mike?
I could
crouch?
imagine
No.
that
Can
what
you
happened.
Well, you actually could teabag if you, like, turn into a squid on top of them.
There you go.
Because you transform into a squid in the game. Now I'm gonna... No, you motherfucker.
Like, I could imagine that the whole point of Splatoon was, okay, why didn't the Blob work out? And then they were like, well, it wasn't a relatable character, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, well, why don't we try to reimagine the Blob in a different context?
Instead of it being a blob, why don't we make it ink? Wait,
Yeah.
what works with ink? Squids!
Yeah, so that's how they were able to I think that's what happened.
And
Was
yet they're still trying to get Mario Sunshine into that game.
Are they?
Just a big... Because everybody's like, ink, water. So it's rumored to be in the works. I would love to see it. But... And
That'd be awesome.
yeah, but...
Like you have an ink team and a cleaning team.
Yep.
That'd be
But
kind
that's
of
like what I love with Splatoon is the fact that it's not how many kills you get. It's literally no, it's how much. Literally, it's it's a turf war. Literally, the goal is to cover everything in your team's ink. Take that any way you want, and literally whoever covers the most space, that's how you win the game. Which I found is very good because I remember when I first played it, I'm going in there and I'm just literally picking people off. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, turf war. So I'm not supposed to kill people.
I think Nintendo's a great example because Nintendo has continuously shown us that you can be creative in this market.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that's keeping Nintendo in the game. They are just working off of creativity. They're not working off of processing power. They're not working off of extreme games.
Yeah, well, they've always been imaginary.
So why is it that only Nintendo can do it?
And look where Nintendo's at. Plain simple. On the bottom of the barrel.
But they're the only ones that do it, and that's the only thing they focus on.
Yeah, but
if they were like everybody else, where they focused on that stuff, but also creativity, they would blow everybody else out of the water.
Yeah.
But right now, all they're focused on is creativity.
Look at the Wii U gamepad. I mean, that thing. If it was an actual controller and a system that can hack it, then yeah, if third party would be a part of that and everything, and they had that creativity, yeah, Nintendo would be a big powerhouse. Look at the N64. It had the pixels. It had the games. It had a controller that actually worked. You know, it had all these like creative ideas, whether it be from Rare working with third parties, you know, or first party being Mario 64, the Majora's Mask, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, she said it.
You know what I mean? But it's true. And that's what the biggest thing is with me is, yeah, you could do it, but Nintendo has a showing of, yeah, you could be creative, and it's great, and people love creativity, but it can only get you so far. You need those things, those rock solid things. And yeah, Call of Duty, was that creative?
Let's break it down this way, right? If you separate every publisher into its own category, Nintendo being one of them, Nintendo is outperforming every publisher out there.
When it comes to creativeness?
No, when it comes to sales. Nintendo is outperforming every publisher individually.
Yep.
By far. If you put Nintendo sales up against Treyarch sales, Nintendo is blowing Treyarch out of the water. If you put Nintendo sales against Infinity Ward sales, Nintendo is blowing Infinity Ward sales out of the water. If you put Nintendo as a publisher up against any single publisher, they are blowing them out of the water. Or developer, I should say. They're blowing them out of the water. But that's the truth. You're saying Nintendo as a company. I'm talking about as a developer and publisher, they are blowing everybody out of the water. So when you say, look at where they are, yeah, look at where they are. They're blowing every other publisher out of the water.
But it doesn't show.
It doesn't show because Nintendo can't compete with Sony. That's why it doesn't show.
Yeah.
Nintendo can't compete with Xbox One or Microsoft. They can't compete with those guys. They can compete with the publishers. They could absolutely, hands down, destroy the publishers.
There wouldn't be an episode without her. Sorry.
Oh, man, let us know your thoughts. Please let us know. Can developers be as creative as they used to be? Is Nintendo a model that publishers should adopt? Am I right? Yes, I am. Is Pete wrong? Yes, he is.
Thank you. Nick's on my side. Love it.
No, I mean, look, as a console provider, Nintendo is in the last nail is almost in the coffin as a console provider.
But right in the child.
But as a publisher and developer team,
they could be very strong.
They're a very strong developer. They have a very strong development team.
When we come to creativeness, there's no doubt that Nintendo's creative. I'm just saying that they also have to have those solid big games to back them up, which they don't. They don't have the Call of Duties on there.
They don't have Mario?
Yeah, but Mario comes out, once every couple years?
There's like 6 different ways to play Mario now. Yep. There's Mario Party, there's Mario Super Smash Brothers, there's Mario Sunshine.
Mario Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah, there's like...
Yeah, but...
Tennis, golf.
There's like 30,000 different ways to play Mario.
But you can't just rely on one being.
You don't need to rely on one being, but they creatively sought out different ways to use the same person in a multitude of games.
Look at the NES library. Mario's on 90% of their fucking games.
I'm just saying, like, you can creatively...
Follow you, fuck you.
Alright, it's not like Nintendo is just saying...
Fuck you.
He's like... Tap. He's like...
I digress.
I think that publishers can be that developers can be creative. I'm not saying that Sackboy should be in every game that Media Molecule ever comes out with. I'm saying that there's ways for people to think outside the box, and Nintendo shows that if Mario can be in a fighter, an open world game, a collectathon, a board game, a racing game, and several sports games, then somebody's lacking some kind of creativity. And it's not Nintendo.
We'll be on here for another hour.
Oh my god. Alright, so expected part 2 of this conversation, number 1, right? Am I right?
Road, yeah.
Am I right?
We'll come back.
We have to come back to this one. We have to come back to a lot of fucking topics.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Redux.
Let us know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to follow us on fucking shit. Really?
Facebook.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/improvgaming. Like the video. Set your notifications on so that then you can tune into our latest episodes.
You can also follow us at Instagram and Twitter at improv_gaming. Also, you can like us on Facebook at Improv Gaming, spaced between the 2 words. We know Pete likes that. You could also email us, just like Karen, Gary, and I forgot the last name. I feel so bad.
You jackass.
Carl. You can, all of you guys can
sure
email
it's
us.
Carl?
Yes, Carl.
You're gonna look like an ass if I go back to the video.
No. At improvgamers@gmail.com. You can. Yeah, you go.
You also find us on Twitter, which is JimmyPoison450, Improv Pete, at ProfCot. You can also check us out on Twitch, which is IPTJBird with a J, Improv Cap with a K, and Improv Cop with a K.
And be sure to tune in for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 weeks.
All the weeks.
You tune in forever because we've got our Christmas special
Holidays.
coming up. Holiday special, whatever you PC bastards.
PC, bro.
Not you PC bastards. I meant that PC bastard.
Mr. Prim's is going to show up. Watch out.
Anybody watch the finale? That's another topic for another day.
And then tune in after that where we're going to host our own kind of top of the year, best of the year kind of award show. Kind of, not really.
Well,
but we'll be hosting our own spin on the whole awards kind of motif, and we're going to give you our bests. And then the week after that, we'll give you the worsts of 2015.
Sounds good.
Right? 3 weeks. We got 3 weeks covered.
Like
Not very improv, but, you know, it is what it is.
But no, it's just to go off the fact with the Game Awards. I will be on Monday. My personal games that I played this year and what I like the best and what I like the least. You guys who watch me on Twitch, you guys know how I do my awards. Jeremy will be the same on Wednesday. Nick will be the same on Friday. And for a special episode on Saturday, we all kill each other to say which game of the year it is.
Yes.
We already know that fucking Splatoon is
It's Jeremy's game of the year.
Jeremy's game of the year. That or any Nintendo game in the last.
Here we go.
As always, we all know Nick is the dick. And you can let us know in the comments that he is.
And Pete's a prick as usual. So.
I am. But
I'm
we
the nice
love each
I'm still
other.
an
We
asshole.
do. We still love each other. We fight on the show, but we make love in real life. I mean,
I'm
we...
out here.
You don't know about that life.
No, but you know, we're friends. We are. We're all friends, kind of. Even though I want to kill Pete sometimes. As
We've been
always,
going on
guys.
too long.
Game on.
Peace.
Old. You want to get up or you want me to get up?
Doesn't matter. You both have to go.